right, let's go ahead and create some content now, shall we? How about some inspiration? Hey there, Enterprisers, what's good? It's Jason Leggo here again, and in this video I want to talk to you about content creation inspiration. That's right, content creation inspiration. In other words, where can you go to be inspired to help you create some content? We've all been in the content creation business for a while, right? And if you've been in there for any amount of time, you know that you can go certain spells where you're going great and it's easy, ideas come to you, they flow, your creative juices are going. And then you also know that there are these dry rut spells, right? There are times, much like a writer has writer's block, you really have a hard time figuring out on what's next, on how you can continue to come up with good quality content that not only keeps your audience engaged, but also finds new audience members for you. And so what I want to do today, very quickly and simply, is basically just give you some really cool and easy, simple ways for you to go ahead and get some inspiration in terms of creating content. Some of the easiest ways that you can find ways to create new content. Let's go ahead and get right into it. I hope that this is helpful to you. Number one, repurpose content, okay? Repurpose content. I know it's kind of one of those simple things, but don't discount this, because the reality is, what's an easier place to go than what already has been out there? The key is to put a new twist on it and to give it a little bit of differentiation. So for instance, you can do this a couple different ways. If you talked about how to achieve a certain result with this stipulation, then maybe the easiest way for you to go ahead and do it is to talk about a way to achieve it without that stipulation or with something else. So for instance, let's say you're in the weight loss space. You could certainly talk about the easiest way for you to go ahead and lose weight using a low carb method. But then again, you can also create new content by repurposing that. And what you want to do is put another twist on it. Talk about maybe how to lose weight with less carbs, but not completely low carb. And that way you go ahead and appeal to a certain subset of your already acquired demographic interest. Does that make sense? So in other words, whereas you might be just generalizing how to lose weight, use the low carb method, now in this method you're talking about something slightly different, and so the ears of somebody else is gonna perk up, as opposed to just, okay, general weight loss. Now you're talking to someone who might be approaching diabetes or something on the other end. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully that makes sense without being too convoluted. And by the way, this is not health advice, so don't take it as that. But just consider there are different ways to repurpose your content, okay? If you talked about how to do something somewhere, talk about doing it elsewhere, right? Find a handicap that you can throw in, change the rules and change the game just a little, and bam, now you have something new, right? There are always different ways for you to talk about it. So for instance, maybe you're in the make money space, whether it's make money online or something, but the end result that you teach and that you share is how to become successful financially. Obviously, you've heard of the concept of multiple streams of income. If you want to create new content, all you need to do is talk about each stream individually. Don't talk about, hey, let me show you how to create multiple streams of income. You can mention it, but you can talk about how to generate money using real estate, and you can talk about how to generate money in crypto, and you can talk about how to make money using affiliate marketing and internet marketing and multi-level marketing, and the list goes on and on. You get the idea. Can you see what I'm saying? It's really not that hard to repurpose content to find something new. And maybe one other way that you can do this is to simply change your quantities. So for instance, in the last example, I talked about how to make money. And what you do when you're brainstorming and planning your content, you can come up with 10 or 15 different ways that you know of and personally have used to make money. And rather than go through all 10, chunk that up, split that up into one at a time, or you can do the method that I like to do, and I like to talk about 3 points, right? The 3-point method is the way that I like to go about certain ways. There's enough to keep you engaged, but it's not giving away the whole farm either, right? In terms of content creation, repurposing, the other thing that you can do is also repurpose your content in terms of the type of content that you put out there, format-wise. Here's what I mean. This is a YouTube video that you're watching right now. Not only is this a full-length video that you can find on YouTube, but I can also put this on Facebook if I wanted. That's the platform. But what I talked about is maybe changing its format, is that rather than putting this full-length video out there like this, I can repurpose this by chunking it up into individual 60, 30-second, whatever, and now you have short-form videos that I can put on different platforms and similar platforms like Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, and or TikTok. Does that make sense? There's so many different ways to repurpose content that if you go ahead and think about it, I'm sure you can come up with something. So number one is repurpose your content. Number two, keyword research. Keyword research, and this is very powerful. This is simply going online and finding out what is it that people are searching for, right? What are people typing in the search engines, the Google machine, and so on, right? And there's a lot of different tools out there, right? I'll go ahead and leave it to you to figure out and take a look online to see where you can go to find keyword research, but know that you can do that. And I think that's a very powerful way. You can find that people are looking for things online and typing all types of things into search engines. They're putting keywords, but they're also putting phrases. They're also using hashtags. All of these things are substantial, right? And they're great reasons for you to go online and find out what's being searched for. Now, if you don't think that this makes sense or this has any efficacy to it, let me just tell you, if you're not familiar, that this is the very method that a lot of people will use when they are crafting their paid ads online. Things like Google, YouTube, things like that. They're actually looking for keywords. They're looking for phrases. They're looking for what are people typing in, because this is what they're searching for. If you can get in front of the curve and find out what people are typing in and searching for, you can create entire pieces of content around that. And using the repurposing content method that we talked about in method number 1, there is no end to how many different things that you can come up with that'll get you in front of the right audiences and bringing them in for months and months and years to come. Number 3, and finally, and I believe that this is the most simple but also the most powerful and often the most overlooked, and that is audience input, okay? Audience input, or simply put, ask your audience, right? One of the easiest and best things that you can do is simply ask your audience, what is it that you would like to see? What is it that you want to hear more of? What would you like for me to cover next, right? Now, this is so powerful, but not a whole lot of people are doing it, particularly those who are in the space that I'm familiar with, things like sales, marketing, make money online, entrepreneurship. Oftentimes in those categories, I find that they don't really reach out to a whole lot of audience input. And sometimes it costs them, right? Because eventually you're going to become known as a one-trick pony. There's only so many times that you can beat a dead horse, right? And so it's helpful to find something new. Now, if you want to go ahead and look to certain industries that do this well, one that does this well are things along the lines of like diet and fitness, and then also product reviews. The people who do this type of stuff, they're great about touring something, featuring something, asking questions, answering questions, and then they say, what do you want me to go ahead and do next, right? Sometimes food reviews. If you ever watch some of these food bloggers and food critics that go and test out and taste different food places, they give their review on it and they say, where do you want me to go next? It's such a simple and powerful question, but it generates some great results. What if you and I could do that in whatever our field is, right? Whatever your field is, ask somebody, what would you like for me to cover next? What would you like to see next, right? It's that simple. And if you go ahead and do this, you're gonna find 2 main benefits. Number 1, it answers this question. You'll get inspiration for future content creation. But number 2, and probably the more powerful and more important thing, is that it shows the engagement of your audience. If you put a poll out there and say, what do you guys want to see next? And you get an answer back, now that proves to you that you have a dialed in audience and these folks care about what you have to say. Meaning they're tuned into you and they care about what's next. And as long as there's something coming out next and there's a chance for them to listen to it and to consume it, it's that much more powerful in terms of deepening the relationship, and that is always good for business. So number 3, audience input. There you have it, my friends. Listen, I trust that this was helpful to you. Quick and dirty, simple but powerful as usual. And again, let me know which one of these things is the most important to you, or at least the one that stuck out, the one that maybe gave you the biggest aha. I look forward to hearing about that in the comments. Go ahead and put it there. You know what to do now. Like, comment, share, but more importantly, subscribe and hit the notification bell. That way you don't miss out on any more hot new content that I have coming down the pipe just for you. This is Jason Ligo with Always Enterprise. I'll see you next time. Take care.